The call from the stars. Captain Maya Chen stood at the observation deck of Orbital Station Sentinel, Earth's most advanced defense platform. Through the reinforced viewport, she watched as lightning storms flashed across North America, illuminating the night side of the planet below. 20 years in the Earth Defense Force had hardened her against nature's fury, but she still found beauty in its raw power. "Captain, we've detected something unusual." Lieutenant Raj Patel's voice broke her reverie. Long-range sensors picked up a signal from the Cygnus sector. The pattern repeats every 37.4 seconds. Chen followed him to the command center where holographic displays showed a pulsing waveform. "Distance. About 70 light-years, sir," Patel replied, unable to hide the excitement in his voice. "Our eye confirms it's artificial. This isn't random cosmic noise." The command center fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had been broadcasting into space for over a century. But this was different. This was a response. "Get Director Alvarez up here immediately," Chen ordered, studying the signal's unusual pattern. Within an hour, the station's briefing room filled with Earth's top scientists and military officials. Director Sofia Alvarez, head of the United Earth Defense Force, activated the central display. "Our linguistics team has been analyzing the signal," she explained, her typically stern expression softened by fascination. "It contains mathematical sequences, atomic structures, and what appears to be a language primer. Classic first contact protocol." Dr. Marcus Wong, the station's chief xenobiologist, stepped forward. "We've deciphered parts of it," he said. "It's a distress call from a species calling themselves the Araxians. They're facing extinction from entities they call void feeders, some kind of energy-consuming threat. They're specifically requesting physical intervention." "Physical intervention." General Ortiz frowned. "We've barely mastered interstellar travel. Our colony on Proxima is only 5 years old. How are we supposed to mount a rescue mission 70 light-years away? More importantly, why us?" asked Admiral Kazuo. "If they have technology advanced enough to send targeted communications across such distances, surely they have allies closer to home." Dr. Wong manipulated the holographic display, bringing up images decoded from the signal. The Araxians appeared as slender, almost translucent beings with 6 limbs and luminous skin. Their world was beautiful but strangely uniform, crystal cities amid perfectly ordered landscapes. "There's something else in the message," Wong continued. "References to other civilizations that received their call but refused to help. And," he hesitated, "specific mention of Earth as a death world inhabited by adaptive extremophiles." "They're talking about us," Chen realized. Extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme environments. From their perspective, that's exactly what we are. Wong nodded. The Araxians evolved on a world with minimal environmental variations, no severe weather, stable climate, few natural disasters. Earth would be lethal to them. Most galactic civilizations apparently developed in similar stable environments. Director Alvarez paced the room, her mind working through the implications. "They need Deathworlders," she said finally. "They need humans specifically because we evolved to survive conditions that would kill most species." The room erupted in debate. Some argued it could be a trap. Others saw an unprecedented opportunity. The ethical dimensions of intervention were weighed against the potential technological benefits. Earth's limited fleet of 7 interstellar-capable vessels would be stretched to its limit. The debate carried on for days as more of the signal was decoded. Political factions argued over resources and risks. When the United Earth Council met for the final vote, Captain Chen requested permission to speak. "The Araxians' world is dying," she said simply. "They've reached out across the stars, and everyone has turned them away because the danger was too great. But humans have always run toward danger, not away from it. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and world wars. We've endured in deserts, tundras, and oceans. We are built to survive what others cannot." She paused, looking at each council member in turn. The Araxians didn't contact us by accident. They studied thousands of worlds and chose Earth. Not because we have the most advanced technology, but because resilience is in our DNA. This isn't just about saving another species. It's about showing the galaxy what humanity stands for. Director Alvarez stood, her decision made. Operation Starreach begins today. We will assemble our fleet and answer this call, not just for them, but for ourselves. The vote passed by a narrow margin. 3 months later, the massive hangar of the United Earth Spaceport thrummed with activity. Workers in exosuits welded enormous hull plates, while cargo shuttles delivered components from factories worldwide. At the center stood the newly completed UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced vessel and the flagship of humanity's first interstellar rescue mission. Chief Engineer Lena Okafor walked along a suspended catwalk, her weathered hands running over the railing as she supervised the final installations. 20 years designing spacecraft had prepared her for many challenges, but nothing like this. Impressive, isn't it? Said a voice beside her. Lena turned to find Dr. Amaradiello, the fleet's lead xenobiologist. Her dark eyes reflected the blue glow of the ship's newly installed quantum core. 4 months ago, this was just desperation and determination. Lena replied, pride evident in her voice. Now look at her, fastest, strongest ship humans have ever built. Below them, technicians guided a section of specialized shielding into position. The material, developed specifically for this mission, was designed to withstand both conventional dangers and the theoretical threat of the Void Feeders. I heard the Pacific Coalition threatened to pull their funding yesterday, Amara said quietly. Lena nodded grimly. They think we should focus on expanding our colonies, not rushing off to help aliens we've never met. What changed their minds? Captain Chen. Amara smiled. She reminded them that whoever reaches the Araxians first gets exclusive access to their technology. That got their attention. In the command center overlooking the construction, Captain Chen and Director Alvarez reviewed the mission roster on a holographic display. 7 ships confirmed, Chen reported. Horizon's flagship, 3 combat frigates, 2 science vessels, and a medical ship. Alvarez's face remained stern. Not enough if these void feeders are half as dangerous as the Araxians claim. We need more firepower. The lunar shipyards have 2 more frigates almost ready, Chen offered. We could expedite their completion. Do it, Alvarez ordered, and double the training rotations for all crew. In the xenobiology lab, Dr. Wang studied the Araxian communications with growing fascination. Their language has no words for certain concepts, he explained to Security Director Natalia Volkov, a former military operative with a cybernetic eye from a combat injury. No equivalent for endure or fight back as we understand them. So they're fragile, Volkov said, tactical mind already assessing. Different, Wang corrected. Their planet never required them to develop those instincts. They evolved for harmony, not survival. And now they need survivors to save them. Meanwhile, Lena oversaw the installation of the experimental faster-than-light drive core. The technology was new, tested only on unmanned probes until now. If these calibrations are off by even 0.01%, she told her engineering team, we could end up inside a star or scattered across 3 parsecs. A young engineer raised his hand. Ma'am, why not send unmanned ships first? Why risk human lives? Lena's expression softened. Because this isn't just about answering a distress call. It's about showing the galaxy what humans do. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us daily. Storms, earthquakes, volcanoes, predators. Earth forged us in fire. Now that strength has purpose. 2 months later, the fleet stood ready. Thousands gathered to watch the launch, their faces reflecting a mixture of pride, fear, and hope. Director Alvarez addressed the crews before departure, her voice broadcasting across all ships. Today humanity reaches beyond our solar system, not as conquerors but as saviors. The stars have called, and we have answered. You carry with you not just the hopes of Earth, but of a species counting on your strength. Remember your training, trust your shipmates, and make humanity proud. As the massive engines of the horizon flared to life, Captain Chen took her place on the bridge, gazing at the view screen showing Earth growing smaller behind them. "Set course for the Araxian system," she ordered. "Let's show the galaxy what Deathworlders can do." The vast emptiness of space engulfed the human fleet as they ventured into the unknown, carrying with them the unbreakable spirit that had defined humanity since the first humans looked up at the stars and dreamed of reaching them. Into the void. The vast emptiness of interstellar space stretched before the human rescue fleet as they ventured deeper into the unknown. 9 ships moved in tight formation, their engines leaving faint blue trails against the black canvas of space. On the bridge of the horizon, Captain Chen studied the star charts projected on the main view screen. "Status report," she ordered, her voice calm despite the tension that hung in the air. "All systems functioning at optimal levels," replied Navigator Sarah Mackey. "We're maintaining light fold factor 8.2. Estimated arrival at the Araxian system in 13 days. Chen nodded, satisfied. The experimental faster-than-light drive had performed better than expected, allowing the fleet to cover immense distances in weeks rather than centuries. But the journey was taking its toll on the crew. Humans had never traveled this far from Earth before. In the ship's laboratory, Dr. Amara Diallo conducted daily training simulations. Today's lesson: preparing the crew for their first meeting with the Araxians. Based on their communications, they evolved in an environment with approximately 0.7 Earth gravity, she explained, showing holographic images of the tall, willowy aliens. Their bodies are adapted for efficiency, not durability. Their crystalline cellular structure allows them to process energy directly from their sun. Security Director Volkov crossed her arms skeptically. "They sound like they'd shatter if someone sneezed too hard." "That's precisely why they need us," Amara replied. "What's merely uncomfortable for humans would be lethal for them. Remember, they come from a world without natural disasters, extreme weather, or even significant temperature variations." Meanwhile, in engineering, Lena Okafor worked tirelessly on a new problem. The fleet had encountered an unexpected radiation belt that was interfering with their long-range communications. "We need to recalibrate the shield harmonics," she told her team as they rerouted power systems. "Otherwise, we'll lose contact with Earth entirely." As Lena worked, the ship's alarms suddenly blared. The fleet had detected something massive approaching at high speed. On the bridge, Chen ordered battle stations. "All hands prepare for possible hostile contact." The unknown object slowed as it approached, revealing itself as a ship 3 times the size of the horizon. Its design was unlike anything humans had seen before: curved, almost organic shapes with pulsing lights along its hull. "We're receiving a transmission," reported Communications Officer David Park. "It's not Araxian." A face appeared on the view screen, humanoid but distinctly alien, with iridescent scales instead of skin and multiple pupil eyes that blinked vertically. "Human vessels, this is High Commander Kezareth of the Galactic Cooperative." The alien spoke in surprisingly good English. "You are traveling toward restricted space. State your purpose." Chen stepped forward. "I am Captain Maya Chen of the United Earth Fleet. We're responding to a distress signal from the Araxians." The alien's expression shifted to what humans could only interpret as shock. "You received their call and chose to answer it willingly." "Of course we answered it," Chen replied, confused by the alien's reaction. "They need help." Commander Kezareth studied the humans with newfound interest. "Fascinating. You must be the Deathworlders we've heard about. No other spacefaring species would approach the anomaly, destroying the Araxian system." Dr. Wong, who had joined Chen on the bridge, leaned forward. "You mean others received the distress call, but ignored it?" "Not ignored," Kezareth corrected. "Deemed suicidal. The void feeders consume everything they touch. The cooperative declared the Araxian sector a containment zone to prevent the spread of these entities. The implications dawned on the human crew. They weren't just the first to answer. They were the only ones. With respect, Commander, Chen said firmly, we haven't come 70 light years to turn back now. Xerith's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. Then you should know what you face. The void feeders are non-corporeal entities that consume energy. Electrical, thermal, even biological. They've already devastated 3 systems. Our scientists believe they originate from a dimensional rift the Araxians accidentally created during an experimental faster-than-light jump. After sharing critical data, the alien vessel prepared to depart. We wish you survival, humans, Commander Xerith said. If you succeed where all others have deemed impossible, the cooperative would be interested in future discussions. As the alien ship disappeared into the darkness, Chen gathered her senior officers. We always knew this mission was dangerous, she said firmly. Now we know why it's considered impossible. But that's what humans do best. The impossible. Days later, the fleet arrived at the Araxian system. The view screens showed a disturbing sight. A once beautiful world now partially consumed by swirling dark patches that seemed to absorb both light and matter. Life signs? Chen asked. Detecting approximately 2 million Araxians, reported Science Officer Lai. They've retreated to shielded underground facilities. The void feeders are concentrated in the planet's southern hemisphere. They're eating the planet's core energy, Dr. Wang realized, studying the sensor readings. At this rate, the planet has maybe 3 weeks before complete collapse. Chen made her decision. Prepare the landing teams. We make first contact immediately. The descent through the atmosphere was treacherous. Dark tendrils of energy reached for the shuttles, forcing the pilots to execute evasive maneuvers that would have killed most species with the G-forces involved. Humans, evolved to withstand physical stress, endured. Inside the main Araxian shelter, Captain Chen led the first contact team. The cavern was vast, filled with crystalline structures that housed thousands of refugees. The Araxians themselves were even more striking in person. Tall, willowy beings with skin that seemed to shimmer with internal light. One approached, moving with fluid grace. I am first speaker Ellerin. The alien said, its voice melodic and light. You came. After all this time, someone finally came. Captain Maya Chen, United Earth Defense Force, Chen replied with a respectful nod. We received your call and brought our best scientists and warriors. We have watched your approach, Ellerin said. Your vessels moved through regions where the void feeders exist. They touched your ships, yet you survived. How is this possible? Dr. Diallo stepped forward. Our ships are heavily shielded, but more importantly, humans are adaptive. Our bodies can withstand energy fluctuations that would kill most species. The Araxians conferred among themselves, their language a series of musical tones. Ellerin turned back to the humans. We have tried everything. Our weapons pass through them. Our shields fail. How can you help when our technology is far more advanced than yours? Lena Okafor, who had insisted on joining the landing party, studied the Araxian technology with professional interest. Sometimes the simplest solutions work best, she said. Tell me everything about these void feeders. Over the next hours, human scientists and engineers worked alongside Araxian experts. They learned that the void feeders consumed energy in predictable patterns, always moving toward the highest concentration, always vulnerable when feeding. In the shuttle bay of the horizon, Lena outlined her plan to the assembled teams. The void feeders are energy vampires, she explained. They go where the feeding is best. We can't kill them directly, but we can trap them. Her plan was audacious, using modified Earth technology to create massive energy sinks that would draw in the void feeders, then collapse the dimensional pocket they created, sealing the entities away. It's essentially a massive EMP combined with a gravity well, she explained. We'll need to place devices at strategic points across the planet's surface. The timing must be perfect. Those are suicide missions, Volka pointed out. The surface is crawling with those things. For Araxians, yes, Lena agreed. For humans from a death world, we might just survive. Over the next 3 days, teams of human engineers deployed across the planet's surface. Where Araxians would have been instantly killed by the Void Feeder's energy drain, humans suffered but endured. Their bodies, evolved to withstand everything from Arctic cold to desert heat, adapted to the energy fluctuations. Many returned with severe injuries, burns, tissue damage, neurological trauma. But they returned, and they placed the devices. On the final day, Captain Chen stood in the Horizon's command center, surrounded by both human and Araxian leaders. All devices are in position, she reported. Detonation sequence is ready. Ellerin's luminous form dimmed slightly, their equivalent of somber reflection. If this fails, both our peoples will be lost. It won't fail, Chen said with the certainty that came from a species that had faced extinction many times and always found a way to survive. Commence Operation Firebreak. Across the planet's surface, the devices activated simultaneously. Massive energy surges created artificial feeding grounds that drew the Void Feeders like moths to flame. As the entities concentrated, the secondary systems engage, creating localized dimensional folds that collapsed in on themselves. The view screen showed the Void Feeders being pulled into these collapsing pockets of spacetime, their dark tendrils writhing as they were sealed away. The process spread like a chain reaction across the planet. "It's working," Dr. Wong whispered, watching the sensors. "The Void Feeders are being contained." 3 hours later, the last pocket sealed. Sensors confirmed what seemed impossible. The threat had been neutralized. The Araxian world, though damaged, would survive. In the aftermath, the Araxians held a ceremony to honor the human fleet. First Speaker Ellerin addressed the assembled crews, its voice carrying across the crystalline hall. For generations, the peoples of the stars have dismissed Earth as a death world, too harsh, too unpredictable to produce civilized life. Today, we know better. It is precisely because you evolved in hardship that you could face what no other species dared. Where others saw impossible danger, you saw a challenge to overcome. Ellerin raised a crystalline object that caught the light in rainbow patterns. "We offer formal membership in the Galactic Cooperative, not as junior partners as is customary for new species, but as full members with all rights and privileges. The galaxy needs Deathworlders more than it realized." Captain Chen accepted the honor on behalf of Earth. "We came as rescuers," she said. "We leave as friends, and we bring a message to the stars. Humanity will always answer the call." 1 month later, the fleet returned to Earth orbit. As they approached, Communications Officer Park smiled at his console. "Captain, we're receiving transmissions from 27 different non-human species, all requesting diplomatic relations with Earth." Chen looked out at her homeworld, the beautiful, terrible death world that had forged humanity into something unique in the galaxy. "Send them all the same message," she said with a smile. "Earth is listening." The story of the Deathworlders who answered a call when no one else would spread across the stars, changing forever how the galaxy viewed the small blue planet and the remarkable species it had produced. Humanity had taken its first true steps into the cosmic community, not as conquerors, not as the conquered, but as the unexpected saviors no one saw coming. Sometimes it takes those born in fire to light the way forward.